Love these episodes, you will.
When 900 years old you are, so good looking, we're not doing.
Welcome back to another episode of Is This for Kids? I am Jonathan Beard of Blevins.
I am Katie, Mrs. Ruby.
And we... Dun, 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 dun. True or false? Doing that one.
No.
No? How about this one? Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, kind
dun,
of, but
dun.
no.
I mean, kind of, though. That one,
Dun,
kind of.
dun, 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 dun. The actual theme song of Star Wars is not the Imperial March.
I just wanted to make sure that you knew what we were talking about today and that it isn't Indiana Jones, which I will talk about in a little bit.
Love Indiana Jones.
So we get to do Star Wars.
Yes. So for all of you who are here, this is going to be released in 3 episodes unless you are on the Patreon or the audio version, in which case then it might be all together. We'll see how that goes. But we're going to do these in order of theatrical release. So the first episode is going to be the original Star Wars 1970s type vibe, although that ended in the 80s. We're doing New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Episode 2, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. Those are the prequels. And then episode 3, these are going to be some mini episodes for you. Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. Those are the sequels. So because they release them out of order, it kind of like screws with everybody's mojo.
Love these episodes, you will.
When 900 years old you are, so good looking, we're not be.
Wow, that was quick. Well done. So yeah, I'm so excited to talk about Star Wars.
Yes.
This is great. I would like to start by saying this. I think there are 4 categories you can be placed in as when it comes to Star Wars. Tell me if you agree, and then which category you're in. Die Hard Padawans is number 1, right? You've seen. That's the name I gave them. They're not. There's not like a name like Trekkies. By the way, do you know Trekkie's like an offensive name back in the day?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Now it's not. Now it's like I'm a Trekkie. But back then it was like you're a nerd.
Okay.
There is no name for Star Wars. There's like clubs I looked up online that are like different infantry divisions they call themselves. If you just watch Star Wars once, you don't know what they are. So I just made up the name Die Hard Padawans, who love it and are obsessed. They've seen everything. Then there's people who've seen the movies once or twice and really, really like them. Okay, but that's kind of as far as it goes. And then there are people who do not understand the hype, who saw most of the movies, but like just don't really get it. And then people who've just not seen any. Those are, I think, the 4 categories.
Ooh.
Which are you, and do you agree?
I don't agree, because I think the 3 different sets of movies elicit different responses. So when it comes to the originals and the prequels, I would call myself a Padawan, like a diehard big fan. But then when it comes to that set of sequels, I'm like, eh.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and put you in category number 1. That's fine. Okay. You fit. For me, I am like the second one.
Okay.
I've seen them all once or twice. I like them. I do not understand the hype. Like for me, I'm like Lord of the Rings. All in, everything, books, movies,
Sure.
Masterpiece, not one flaw.
Yeah.
Hobbit, there's some flaws. But then Star Wars, there are people who just love it and they're so passionate and they have all these opinions. And of course, I have opinions. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes with Star Wars.
There is.
And we
huge.
are going to start, well, real quick. I just have to say this since we're starting with chronological order. Is that correct?
Theatrical release order.
That's what I said. I said chronological. Theatrical release order.
Correct.
Which means the originals first, not the old ones.
Correct. Which is, in case you're curious, the correct way to watch them with your children.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. We'll get there, I think. I remember where I was. So my Nana and Papa lived in Arizona, and we would visit them once a year. And I was probably 8, 9, or 10 years old. And there was nothing to do. They're in their house, like we had quality time. We played games and Yahtzee and things like that. But like when the adults were having their time, there was nothing for us kids to do. So we would go into the computer room and play solitaire on my Papa's computer.
Yeah.
And then we would look at his giant shelf that had tons of movies from the 60s, 70s, 80s on it, including old James Bond, Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
All right.
I mean, that is where I saw, like on the floor of my Papa's home on like this TV that's like this big, is where I watched Star Wars for the first time and Indiana Jones for the first time and fell in love, and like would go to my parents, be like, have you seen Star Wars? And they're like, yes, we've seen Star Wars. Like, it's so good. So I have these great memories from it, but especially love the originals.
Yeah. There you go. I first saw the original first Star Wars, A New Hope, in an English class in 6th grade when we started a unit on sci-fi. That was the first time I ever saw it, and which is weird because my dad is a big Star Wars fan, but he took me to every other movie apparently, but not that one. My first Star Wars encounter was in an English class, and because I was looking at it as a fairy tale, like a space fairy tale is like an interesting piece of literature, I got really into it, and I was a big fan of the original. At that time, that was all there was. But then I was in 8th grade in the beginning. 8th grade ended in 1999, so all of my school years line up with whatever year it was. So I started 8th grade in 98. Anyway, 1999 was when A Phantom Menace came out, and that was a big deal for me because I had gotten really into that in early middle school, and now there's a new one, so I was very excited. Yeah.
That is exciting. I think actually, now that you said that, I think I actually went to the movie theater with my papa to see that one.
Did you stop at Taco Bell first to get a taco?
How did you know?
Because everybody did. You know? They had like a thing.
They did. Okay, that's why. You're right.
Yeah, there was a cup that you got, and it had all of the... Yes.
Oh my gosh, I did that.
We all went to Taco Bell before we saw Phantom Menace. That's not what we're talking about this episode, though. Focus.
We're talking about A New Hope.
Yeah. Well, and all of the 3 original Star Wars movies. Yeah. So what do you think? Are they for kids?
I've got to be honest. Like, it's been a long time since I saw them before I rewatched a lot of them for this show. And I remember looking back and being like, it's not for kids. It's not. It's for like 10, 11, 12, 13, which I know is kids, but like not for anyone under 10. And then I went back and like started to rewatch, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no, this is 100% like for kids. Exciting, not that scary, like a little scary, but not like nothing crazy. The fighting scenes are I like the fighting scenes in every single Star Wars movie. We'll talk about that. Obviously they evolve as it goes on, but the like how it was like they intentionally, I'd love to know if they did, made it not gory. The lightsaber fights are awesome. Like even when people are being beheaded or stabbed,
there's
like,
never blood.
They just kind of disappear. It's like Fortnite.
They crumple onto the floor. Yeah, that's it.
And they're gone. And like there's just it's. And I remember some of the sexy stuff and kind of being like, man, there's probably too much of that. No, there really isn't almost any at all.
No, there's one scene where Princess Leia is in a metal bikini, but she's standing next to Jabba the Hutt, so it's really hard to be attracted.
And I remember when I was a kid being like, oh, she's very pretty, but also being just horrified of Jabba the Hutt and wondering like, what's that guy? What's his deal?
Yeah.
So I went into this thinking I was going to say, Star Wars is great. Don't rush your children into it. Like the curmudgeon I can sometimes be. Wait till they're 11 or 12. And when it comes to the originals, I'm going to say like 8, 9 years old is appropriate. And like, I'm super pumped to start watching these with my kids in the next year or 2.
Yeah, I agree with you with the 8 and 9, and only because there is a bit of politics in Star Wars. It's literally an incredibly political movie. Not earthly politics, obviously. This isn't anything that we would recognize in our world, but like knowing why do these people dislike each other? Why do they want to blow up that planet? Why are they doing this? They're probably not going to be able to follow it before the age of 8 or so. You could probably still watch it with a 6-year-old if they can be interested in just like, woo, lightsaber, getting smashed. Like that. This is all very exciting. The trash compactor thing is what I'm thinking of, not drunk. That was not what I meant. But like, they can watch it. It would be fine. Yoda's cool. Do or do not. There is no try. Yeah. That's always cool. But if you want them to follow it and actually understand it and enjoy the thing, probably wait till they're 10.
Yeah, I feel like 10's the sweet spot because like. For me, and again, I really don't remember the exact age I was, 9 or 10. I was old enough to understand Harrison Ford's like wit, and his charm. I was old enough to be like, this guy is cool.
So that when he says, "I know," you're like,
yeah,
100%, yeah.
But yeah, I do remember being scared of Darth Vader. Like, so there are some, but not like horrified. Yeah, I go to sleep thinking about it like once or twice, but that was kind of it. So yeah, I'm shocked that I'm saying like,
I'm shocked that you are too. That's impressive.
Might not be the same for the other 3, but just the characters in general, like R2-D2 and C-3PO and like Chewbacca is just a legend. Can you do the Chewbacca? No, I cannot either. That was
not Chewbacca.
That was my best Chewbacca, but I'm not very good at it.
Like Chewbacca in Heat. I don't love it.
Now that you bought, no, hold on. I have to get into character. Hold on. David Attenborough. And now we take a look at Chewbacca, who is in heat. That was bad.
All right. Well, we're going to come right back and talk about the prequels, right? Just a minute?
Yes,
All right.
we are. Enjoy those first 3 with your kids.
Yeah. Have fun.